I really hate mustaches. I feel like every serial killer in the history of our world has had a mustache, so every time I walk into a room with someone that has a mustache, I think I'm about to get dismembered. Subscribe and maybe you could become a part of our next mac and cheese. Anyway, it's Mother's Day, so we gotta make a Smakadamac, because it's also mac and cheese week, and what your mother wants is me to teach you how to make mac and cheese. We're doing a mushroom miso mac today, so I need mushrooms. Here I just have some black mushrooms or shiitakes, and these are going to go inside of the mac and cheese, and then some trumpet mushrooms that I'll just make into a little garnish for our mac. Here I have red miso. I like red miso, just it has more of a fermented flavor as opposed to white miso, which is fermented for a shorter amount of time, so it brings a little bit more to the party. Here are my cheeses. I don't care what you use, I just like to have a cheese that's more for pull and a cheese that's more for flavor. I'm grating a 50-50 mix of a low moisture mozzarella and a raclette. The raclette has a nice nutty flavor that'll go great with our miso and mushrooms. Then I weigh out my milk. I'm doing a 1-to-1 ratio of cheese to milk by weight. I heat my milk up with a dry shiitake mushroom till it starts to simmer. As that warms, I'm taking 2% of my total weight of dry and wet ingredients in sodium citrate. Once our milk comes to a simmer, I'm cutting the heat and adding a small amount of fish sauce and soy sauce. Then I'm putting our cheese, miso, milk, and sodium citrate into a blender. This all gets blended into our mac and cheese sauce. This is how the sauce should look once finished. Next, I'm prepping my shiitakes by turning them into a medium-sized dice. Also prepping our trumpet mushroom by taking a slice out of the middle and scoring the mushrooms to make a diamond pattern. We're also going to mince 1 clove of garlic. I'm cooking my noodles to more al dente than al dente. You definitely do not want to overcook them because we're going to cook them again. We then strain our noodles and oil them so they don't stick together. We're then oiling a pan on medium-high heat. Then we add our mushrooms, making sure they brown before we add our garlic, otherwise our garlic will burn. Usually I'd cut the heat and add my sauce next, but I added my noodles on accident. So I'll finish it off by warming through my sauce and then adding some chunks of mozzarella for extra cheese pull. This all goes into a ramekin or a baking dish and topped with breadcrumbs that are sauteed in butter and seasoned with salt and pepper. Bake for 3 to 5 minutes in an air fryer or at 375 in an oven until golden brown. As that bakes, I'm going to fry my trumpet mushroom. Our mac and cheese has a nicely golden top once finished. I garnish the mac with some furikake and our mushroom. I think we're ready for a cheese pull. That mac is schmackin'. I do think the dashi mac I did a week ago was better though. I think it just had a little bit more differential from like a regular mac, but this is pretty damn good. I think this mac is better than the guanciale mac, but a couple of things. I didn't want to add too much miso and soy sauce because they're salty. The cheese has a lot of salt. I think if I were to go and make my own cheese and not add any salt to the cheese and then use more miso and soy sauce, it would be better. But other than that, it's a damn schmackin' mac. Subscribe. If I reach 500 subscribers by the end of the week, I will do another week of mac and cheese week.